Okay, so the Geometry Dash podcast with Gamer Rocket. How are you guys doing? No one's even here yet. Help me. Why is no one here yet? Send help. Come on. Somebody got in here. Recording started. Welcome to the Geometry Dash podcast with Rocket. No one's here yet. And I don't know when anyone's gonna be here yet. I would like if someone could come in here. There we go. Okay, well, we got waffles in here. That's good. Alright. So, what are we gonna go over today? Something I don't even know. You can tell I have a brand new microphone. That sounds amazing, right? I'm actually really happy about it. It's a pretty good microphone. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And now I'm here. I'm able to do this and stable, but that's really all I can do. So go ahead and start this. I would like for more people to be in here before I go too deep into things. 'Cause yeah. Alright. Okay. So. Alright. So I'm gonna quickly start this off by going over through my podcast ideas channel, my Discord, to see what I could go over right now. Prove it wrong. You know, it's funny because money is paper, and paper comes from trees. So it doesn't grow on trees, but is made from trees. So got 'em good, boys. Hey, TJ. I don't want to say that part. Just welcome, TJ. Podcast. But so. The Amazing Bush, my Dream Team administrator, my Discord, and in the channel in general, suggested to me thoughts on overrated creators. And, okay, that's one thing to go over. The bigger question here, what makes an overrated creator? And when does a creator become overrated, so to speak? Because there's a lot of creators out there, and a lot of them make varieties of levels. Some people make a bunch of demons. Some make a bunch of levels to get ratings. Now, I'd say what marks an overrated creator, or generally just a bad creator who's well known, is a creator who does not change up their style ever and sticks with the same thing, like the same exact thing, to keep getting creator points and whatnot. Like, they never change up the style. Optical is getting a bit better at this, but Optical is a pretty big example of this. Because the first time I ever saw the Optical style by Optical, I thought this was pretty cool. It looked pretty great. But Optical does it a lot. He does pretty much the same formula. Never really changes it up, it seems. And I mean, I can understand why some people may try and stick with the same formula, because it works, right? It gets them ratings and all that. But at the same time, though, at least try and make something unique. And you can still use your same exact style in a way of being something new. Like, you can have a mix of your own style with a new experimental style. If your one level that you worked on that's experimental doesn't get a rating, at least you experimented and now you learned something new. Now try that. Try something new, because there's quite a few people out there who, I know this is kind of controversial, but I'd say UserMatt18 is a bit of a victim of this, to where he kind of does the same stuff a lot of the time. He does mix things up at times, but another little rant here is creator points. I understand why people want creator points. I mean, not many people have them, and for those who do, they want more of them because it's something pretty big. It's something pretty great. But it's when it's obvious that people make levels just for creator points. I mean, it's going orange. It's going orange. There we go. Okay, it was back. Okay. Anyway, I mean, and welcome, Aiden. But I mean, yeah, of course. Oh, it's going red. Okay. It's gonna break a little bit here. Anyway, I mean, of course, yeah. Creator points are great, but there's a big difference between people who are trying to create levels to make them unique and enjoyable, or to just make them for creator points. And a pretty big example of this is like, people like use them at 18. Yeah, I mean, it's great. They create a lot of levels. But it's obvious they only do it just for the creator points, because it's always like, it's never a demon. It's almost never a demon at all. And those levels usually have the quote-unquote stereotypical style. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That style takes time. But I like it when people are a little unique. At least try and be unique at times. Because some creators do a lot of work to try and be unique. One example of this is, of course, Crazy Man 50. Manix was a bit like that. It's the same formula, but he does change it up. Viprin, even though he constantly makes levels and gets a lot of creator points, he is unique at times. When he is unique, he is actually pretty unique. And in general, that's just how it is. Now, Viprin, you can kind of call him overrated. Sometimes some people call him underrated. It depends on his levels. Some of his levels, Viprin's levels are hit and miss. I'll just say that. But, because when he misses, he really misses. When he hits, he really hits. But case in point, really what makes an overrated creator is someone who just never mixes up their style and only does what they do for creator points, and for some reason gets praised for it. Skitten. Skitten is on the better end of this, but he is also hit and miss. I know some people are gonna hate that, but honestly, I find Skitten to be a little. I can't stress it. I can't stress it enough. He's a little overrated. Just a little. I can't stress the littleness of it, but he is a little overrated, if you were to ask me. Because he's praised as an extremely great creator. He is a good creator, but he is not a great one. He's a good creator, I'll admit that. He makes good levels. A decent amount of them can be pretty unique at times. But he's not great. He's good. Great creators are, again, people like Crazy Man 50. Serpunge is an amazing creator. He's more than great. Funny Game also being an amazing creator. Manx is a great creator. Those are the greats. Skitten is a good creator. But it's when you get into the whole user mat 18, or however you say that one guy, Adiel. Zozobra, okay. Here's the thing about Zoros, though, is that he is praised as the best creator out there. So, yes, he's overrated, but he is still an amazing creator in the sense of he was a legacy. He created things that were not seen before. Nine Circles spawned an entire series of levels, the biggest series of levels seen in the game ever. He created Acropolis, which was the first timing demon that was actually truly timings. He created many levels that were very unique, and that's what made him so special. And not only was he very unique with his creating skills, he was also a really good player. He was probably Geometry Dash's first really good player and first really good creator. The first person, not only was he the best player at a time, He was also the first person ever to be both really good at playing and creating. I mean, nowadays, his skill is minuscule to everyone else's, of course, like the top players, and his creating skills are overlapped by people like Serpunch. But at the time in 1.9, what he did was amazing. What he did was revolutionary, and while being revolutionary, he was pretty good of a player as well. That's what makes Zozobra so great. Nowadays, compared to everyone else, he is overrated because he doesn't make what he's created before is kind of small compared to like the amazing stuff we see from people like Serpunch. But back in the day, he wasn't overrated. He got as much attention as he should because he truly was a good player and a good creator. Nowadays, he's slowed down, and it makes sense. He probably has a life now. He's probably grown up to points where chances are, because he seems pretty mature. Chances are he actually has like a job or something. The reason why we don't really hear from Zobros is he might have a life outside of Geometry Dash right now, which is why he ain't playing. And of course, his hand pains. But okay, Caesar, but yeah. So that's kind of my opinions on all that. But all right. Azur, a moderator of my Discord, excuse me, suggested Demon Slayers. Not for sure what he means by that. If he means by what my opinions are about Demon Slayers, then there really isn't an opinion. They just are good at the game and they do a bunch of demons. Good for them. Round of applause. Like I don't know why I need to talk about that. I think they've already been talked about enough. I mean, they've worked for their skill. They're as good as they are now because they worked for their skill and now they're able to pull off demons. That's what I'm talking about too. They've worked for their skill and now they're able to do demons. That's kind of all I can say about that. So great. Thoughts on Tarot? Suggested. Okay. So 2 suggestions by Waffles, which as you see in the chat, and is an administrator in my Discord server. First of all, he's talking about skill ceiling. He made a suggestion in the server about skill ceilings and how far do you think they can go? Well, how far do I think they can go? Well, truth be told, it's really a matter of just human physicality, because there is a limit to what humans can do. One moment. Okay, back. In the recording, I'm gonna have to cut out that giant gap. Okay, anyway, back. Anyway, talking about skill settings. Alright, so skill setting, again, it's about how. Because every human has a limit to how. Like their reaction time. Because really, this game, it's a possible skill ceiling limit, the absolute limit any human can reach when it comes to skill in this game. It really matters about the person and what their limits are. Because of course, as world record holders, like I researched, there's this one guy who is so fast with reactions they can quietly cut a bullet when it's shot. That's pretty great. That's a good limit. If someone has a fast enough reaction to be able to cut a bullet with like a sword, they could probably be pretty quick to react in jump dash, right? There's a limit for that. What about memory? Well, there are people out there with some of the strongest memories, like some people out there cannot quite literally have perfect memory. They cannot forget. And there are people like that I've read about as well. So that could also help you in jump dash. And really, again, it's just the limit you have is really just the limit of the human body. That's where the skill ceiling lies, is that point. How far do I think because right now, there are people beating Bloodlust within a week or two of it being released, right? That's pretty fast for something that hard, right? Do I think we're nearing the skill ceiling for players? Do I think we're close to that limit? No. As a matter of fact, I don't think anyone's really that close. Because the human body can be capable of doing a lot. Because if you were to ask me, I think the limit could possibly be Silent Clubstep. I think Silent Clubstep as it is impossible. I mean, it is possible. Sorry, it is possible by humans. It's just, it will require someone with a massive skill ceiling, aka someone who can be able to become good enough to be able to react as quickly as that one person can cut a bullet in midair, and as someone as smart to where, or smart, not smart, as good at with memory to where they can remember everything. Something like that. It's like something like that. If we have a human being like that who starts playing Geometry Dash and keep playing until they reach the skill level that these people are reaching right now, I think they could reach a point to where they could do Silent Clubstep. But I think Silent Clubstep may be that limit. I'm not for sure. It could be more, but I think the human limit when it comes to mental and physical is Silent Clubstep. Mental because, yeah, physically, some of these impossible, quote-unquote, levels, semi-impossible levels are basically levels that could be done by humans physically. But then they also have to kind of factor in mental capabilities. Because mentally, someone cannot go through a million attempts into a level. It would drive them insane. They can't mentally go through it. They don't have the time, and of course they have a life they do things in. They don't have the capabilities to deal with that. That's where mental factors in. I think mentally and physically, Silent Clubstep may be the limit. Of course, there might be harder levels in Silent Clubstep that could be done physically by humans, but then there's the factor of mental health. And in all reality, I don't think people can go past Silent Clubstep, because I think at least it will take someone about 300,000 attempts to do Silent Clubstep one day at the absolute peak of physical ability with this game. That is a very long time to work. That's like 2 years of work to beat one level. I think that's the limit. Past that, and that's when people start it just won't be possible for humans to be able to keep their focus on something for so long. That's when they'll start saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm getting stressed. I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this bullcrap. No one can reach 600, 700, 800, a million attempts because it's just not mentally possible. They would go insane. And not factoring in, there is a life outside of this game that they have to do. So that's kind of my opinion on it. It's like there's a mental limit. Physically, I think we could do extremely difficult levels that are seen as impossible. Like, you know, that horrible level of exasperation? That could be done physically. But then you have to factor in mental capability. Mentally, no one can do something like that. That's why it's semi-impossible. Basically, impossible levels are just impossible. They are impossible. They can't be done by human, physically. But semi-impossible levels are levels that can be done physically by humans, but can't be done mentally by humans. Silent Circles is an impossible level. It can't be done physically. Now, the second suggestion by Waffles, my administrator, is thoughts on Tartarus. Sorry, I said that wrong. 2 months ago, but you see I'm a little late. Whatever, I don't care. But, yeah. That level, I kind of find it interesting. I kind of like it. Honestly, I don't really want to talk about the level. I'm wanting to talk about hacking levels for the enjoyment of others. Because we all know that one of the most important levels in this game to ever come out was hacked. That level being Cataclysm, which spawned so many more extreme demons. Cataclysm was hacked by GG Boy. But that level being hacked, God sakes. Hold on, let me change setting. Okay. But with that being said, it was hacked and it allowed Cataclysm to come out. So, in my personal opinion, having a hacked level out, just so someone can be able to beat it later on, I'm fine with it. Tartarus is hacked, of course. It's up on the server, but it was hacked. But it's done for others to be able to beat it. That's the fun of it. So I don't really care about when people hack levels and openly admit they hacked it just to have it up on the server, as long as it's possible. If it's possible, go ahead, because I think Tartarus is possible, humanly and mentally. Like physically and mentally, I think it's possible. As it says at the state it's in. It just will take a while and it'll take some really skilled players. But yeah. But that's kind of my opinion on Tartarus. I think someone can do it. I don't know who will do it. It's whoever decides to. Alright. By the way, for those of you who want to have ideas for podcasts, want me to go over, you can be able to access the podcast ideas channel on my Discord channel. If you become an active boy, I think it's common boy, let me check. I think it permissions. Common. If you are common boy plus, you'll be able to access the podcast ideas channel to give me ideas, but yeah. But, so Hayden, X13 on my Discord, server, has active boy, suggested me, demon difficulty overtime from start to now. Well, for those of you who don't know, I'll be surprised if you don't. Demon difficulty, originally it was not such a thing as a demon. Originally the hardest the hardest difficulty was insane. But eventually it was, because of Demon Park. The demon difficulty name was created because of Demon Park. And that's created a bunch. And of course, for those of you who've played it, we all know Demon Park is very easy. It is hardly a demon. At most, it might be like a harder. Why is it called a demon, right? Well, that's the thing. Standards of demon difficulty has changed over time. Because back when Demon Park came out, I think at the time the hardest level there was like one of the Insanes, like X Step or Clutterfunk or something like that. That was the hardest level when it comes to raw top levels. Demon Park was seen as a pretty difficult level at the time, a pretty difficult one. Saying pretty difficult, it was kind of an understatement. At the time, it was seen as something very hard. Because Demon Park came out before Clubstep, and Clubstep, when it came out, was already seen as a pretty difficult challenge. And mind you, all this is in mobile right now. Right now the game isn't on PC yet, it's on mobile, and things are harder on mobile. And yeah. So, over time, the qualifications for a demon has changed because players have gotten better, especially when this game was released on PC, which made things easier because you're able to use a mouse instead of tapping on a screen. And of course, with high refresh rates, less delay time, it makes it to be more responsive. And that's just made things better.